Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital spoilers. Sonny searches for Dex. Guard dog Jason's move provokes fury. General Hospital. VHF spoilers reveal that Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Venard, will go looking for Dex Heller, even Hofer, during the week of May 27 to 31. Although Sonny blames Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, for escalating things, at one point he did acknowledge that Jason stopped him from doing something he might have regretted. Sonny could have gone to prison for the rest of his life if he'd taken things too far, so he at least grateful to have avoided that. Of course, part of Sonny also feels like all of this could have been avoided if Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, had just let him eliminate Dex in the Pine Barrens like he originally wanted. However, what's done is done, so Sonny just has to decide how to move forward from here. That brings us to Sonny's upcoming Dex search and his reason for tracking him down. Sonny admittedly lost his temper that night, so he might plan to offer Dex some form of an apology. Nevertheless, Sonny will stand by the fact that Dex betrayed him and may feel he deserves to be banished. It's possible Sonny will go back to one of his previous plans when it comes to handling Dex. Sonny might want to remind Dex of how he spared his life in exchange for Dex leaving town permanently. It was Jocelyn Jacks, Eden McCoy, who brought Dex back, but now they're not even together anymore. Sonny may see no reason for Dex to stick around and hope he can convince him to just bolt for both their sakes. Whatever the case, Sonny will have his reasons for wanting to find Dex and speak his mind. A situation like this could escalate just like at the Metro Court if Sonny's messed up meds aren't holding him back enough. It sounds like Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, will discover Sonny's plans and worry that he's going to finish Dex off. Jason promised Jocelyn that he'd stop Sonny from taking Dex out for good, so he'll do everything in his power to keep that promise. VH spoilers suggest that Jason will act as Dex's guard dog again, but Sonny won't be happy about it. After Jason makes a bold choice, Sonny will blow his top over the news. That could mean Jason will send Dex away and launch his own showdown with Sonny. Or maybe he'll call Anna Devine, Finola Hughes, and threaten Sonny with the cops. Regardless, our predictions point to Sonny's fury erupting once more, so stay tuned for updates on how far he'll go this time around. General Hospital spoilers say Jason and Sonny have some tense scenes ahead, so don't miss all the action. Sonny Corinthos, the infamous mob boss of Port Charles, found himself in the midst of another whirlwind of chaos. This time, his trusted enforcer, Dex, had gone missing under mysterious circumstances. Dex's disappearance had thrown the entire Corinthos organization into disarray, and Sonny knew that he had to act quickly to prevent his enemies from exploiting the situation. The morning sun had barely risen when Sonny assembled his inner circle in his office. The air was thick with tension as the core members of Sonny's team gathered around the polished mahogany table. Carly, Sonny's fiercely loyal ex-wife, stood by his side, her eyes flashing with determination. Jason Morgan, Sonny's best friend and former right-hand man, was also present, his expression as stoic as ever. "We need to find Dex," Sonny said, his voice calm but authoritative. "He's too valuable to us, and I don't like the idea of him being out there, vulnerable." Jason nodded, his jaw set in a firm line. "I'll start the search. I've got a few leads that might point us in the right direction." Carly's eyes narrowed. Who could be behind this? Dex wouldn't just disappear without a reason. Sonny sighed, running a hand through his hair. "It could be anyone. We've made a lot of enemies over the years. But whoever it is, they'll regret messing with us." As the meeting dispersed, Jason headed out to follow his leads. His first stop was the docks, a notorious hotspot for underworld activity. The cold wind whipped through his leather jacket as he scanned the area, his eyes sharp and alert. He approached a group of longshoremen who were known to have their ears to the ground when it came to mob business. "Hey," Jason called out, his voice low and commanding. "I'm looking for information on decks. Have any of you seen or heard anything?" The men exchanged nervous glances before one of them, a grizzled old-timer named Frank, stepped forward. "I might have heard something. There was talk of a new player in town, someone looking to make a name for themselves by taking down one of Sonny's men." Jason's eyes narrowed. "Who?" Frank shrugged. "No names, but whoever it is, they're smart. They're keeping a low profile, using intermediaries to do their dirty work." Jason thanked Frank and continued his search, his mind racing with possibilities. He knew that if he didn't find Dex soon, the entire organization could be at risk. Meanwhile, back at the Corinthos mansion, Sonny was growing increasingly frustrated. He paced the length of his office, his mind racing with thoughts of betrayal and vengeance. Carly watched him with concern, her own worry evident in her eyes. "Sonny, we'll find him," she said softly. "Jason's the best there is. If anyone can track down Dex, it's him." Sonny nodded, but his anxiety was palpable. "I know, Carly. It's just, Dex has been with us for a long time. He's like family. And I can't shake the feeling that this is more than just a random attack." Carly frowned. "What do you mean?" "I mean," Sonny said, his voice dropping to a whisper, "that someone's trying to send a message. And I don't like what it's saying." As the hours ticked by, Jason's search led him to a seedy nightclub on the outskirts of town. The place was a front for all kinds of illegal activities, and Jason knew that if anyone had information on Dex's whereabouts, it would be here. He slipped inside, blending into the shadows as he made his way to the back of the club. He spotted a familiar face, a low-level thug named Ricky who had connections to various criminal enterprises in Port Charles. Jason approached him, his presence causing Ricky to stiffen. "Ricky," Jason said, his voice low and menacing. "I need information, and I need it now." Ricky swallowed hard, his eyes darting around the room as if looking for an escape. "What do you want to know?" "Dex, where is he?" Ricky hesitated, then nodded toward a back room. "I heard he's being held in there. Some new guy in town, trying to make a name for himself by taking down one of Sonny's men." Jason didn't wait for further explanation. He moved swiftly, his instincts honed from years of dealing with situations just like this. He burst into the back room, his gun drawn, ready for anything. Inside, Dex was tied to a chair, looking battered but defiant. Standing over him was a man Jason didn't recognize, a tall, imposing figure with a cold, calculating look in his eyes. Well, the man said, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "If it isn't Jason Morgan. I was wondering when you'd show up." Jason didn't waste time with words. He lunged forward, his movements precise and deadly. Within moments, the stranger was disarmed and on the ground, groaning in pain. Jason untied Dex, who stood shackily but managed a grateful nod. "Thanks, Jason. I thought I was done for." Jason clapped a hand on Dex's shoulder. "Let's get you out of here. Sonny's been worried sick."